Hello, my name is Sergio Santos, and today I want to talk about an idea I shared in a recent blog post of mine. This idea has to do with choosing tools for transformation, for changing something in your life or in yourself, something that you've been struggling with or that you're not happy with, you want to improve. So you might be looking at some ideas from videos, from books, or even talking to a coach, a therapist, or a mentor to try to find a way to deal with the problem, what you see as an issue. And how do you pick the best tools for the job? First, you can look at the principles behind the, the tool. For me, the best tools are the ones that you can apply in three different scenarios. And this is in case of changes that have to do with the way you feel, with the way you act, changing something in yourself. And the best tools are the ones that are useful in three different scenarios. One scenario is with a professional. During a session with a mentor, a therapist, or a coach, something that is useful there might be an exercise that the coach guides you through, might be something else, but something that can be in that context that you have someone guiding you. So that's the first environment. The second environment is in the comfort of your own home. Let's say you're alone at home, you have a safe space, a safe environment, and you can do the exact same practice, use the same tool at home. And then you have the third environment that is in real life scenarios. This is very important because you want every tool to be useful in the most challenging situation, which useful usually is in real life scenarios. That's when you get triggered the most in most cases. So I want to share first how I came to this conclusion. I came to this conclusion because I started meditation years ago. When I started, it helped me a lot in one aspect, that it was sleeping. So I was having trouble sleeping, then I would meditate just before going to bed, and that would help me sleep. And that was very beneficial. However, for a very long time, I kept on meditating and meditating, and I started feeling frustrated because the state of calmness and well being I was reaching at home, I could not reach in real life scenarios. I could not feel the same way interacting with people, going to places. I just could not handle it. So it was very frustrating for me, and I almost started considering if I should stop meditating or not because it wasn't translating into real life. Of course, it was super helpful for sleeping, and sleeping, of course, would affect my life. But then I wanted more. I thought I was reading about results from other people that were having these great results with meditation, and I wanted as well to feel calm in real life scenarios. I wanted to have that control that comes with it, feel empowered by it. And eventually, I experienced coaching as a client, and my coach gave me an exercise to do at home, an exercise that I had done first with him in a session, and then that I was instructed to apply it in real life scenarios. And that made such a difference for me. I started noticing that although the tool itself was very useful, it was a sort of a meditation as well, but a bit more complex than the usual mindful meditations. Uh, I started seeing that I was improving much faster, and I could see practical results because in real life I was being triggered, and then I could control everything after that. To a point that then, in some cases, I wouldn't even be triggered by the things that were triggering me before. And by triggering, I mean that situations that would make me nervous stop making me nervous. I was able to control reaction inside of me. So therefore I was then acting different, feeling more comfortable, just having in general well-being, a sense of well-being much higher, and have this sense of I am expressing myself the way I want to express myself. I'm living my life the way I want to live my life. I'm not just reacting. I'm choosing the way I want to be. Therefore, I had this big conclusion that there is these three different environments, and there are tools that you can use in these three different scenarios. So I'm going to give you a tip in a sort of an exercise that is the very first thing I gave my clients to do. So I'm going to share this with you because it's really simple, and it has to do with understanding yourself, and after that even gaining control of these reactions that you might have. When you're triggered, just using this exercise you might be able to control it. And it always starts with the breath. Sometimes we are triggered and we feel lost, and if we feel powerless, we don't know what to do, and after that everything gets worse. So you can get control with it if you think about, okay, where should I start? Start with the breath. So the very first thing is that if I'm with someone in a session, I will instruct that person in a sort of an exercise, closing your eyes, focusing on your breath, and just noticing it. Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it deep? Is it shallow? Can you control it? Is it out of control? Slow it down. Make it faster. And you can do this and notice what are the emotions that come with it. How do you feel as you do this? And you start noticing connections. You start noticing that your breath is deeply connected with the way you feel. Not only that, but your emotions affect your breath, but by affecting your breath, you can also affect your emotions. And this is such a powerful tool. So simple, but so powerful. I remember using this before presentations during my PhD, that the way I was doing at the time was running to the toilet before and just sitting and meditating like for 2 to 5 minutes. And I noticed that just the breath would be so powerful. And then using the presentation, during the presentations, I could use the same thing. I could notice my breath and I could control it, and therefore gain a sense of grounding, of inner power, of control. So this is the very first thing you can do. So I gave an example of something that can be guided during a session, and you can do the same thing at home. Just focusing on the breath, maybe for in the beginning for 10 minutes, you can sit down focusing on your breath and noticing how you feel. Seeing if you can make it deeper, and slowly making it deeper. What happens when you do so? What are emotions that appear? And starting getting this, be playful with it and getting this sense of control. And then the third environment. Then you go out of your house, of your safe space, and you go for a walk, and you notice how is your breath. And you notice if you walk, your breath is a little bit faster because you're walking. You notice if you see someone, you notice what happens. If a stranger looks at you, what happens to your breath? What feelings appear inside you? You go, you order a coffee, you notice what happens to your breath. You're talking with your parents, you notice what happens and how you feel. And you apply this in all different scenarios of your life, of real life scenarios. What is happening there? And you notice that you first will discover a lot of things. You discover that a lot is happening to your breath, and many things you're completely unconscious of. You don't even notice that they are happening. So you start to understand yourself better. Maybe you'll notice that in certain cases you thought you're really under control, that you're really confident, and then you notice that your breath is telling you that you're not that confident actually. That a certain person might trigger you in a way that you are not really happy about. That's the first thing you notice. Or you might discover positive things that you believe you're not good at something, but actually quite good at it in terms of how well you feel during it, because you might have certain ideas in your head, but your body, your breath is telling you otherwise. So first you discover, and then you notice that you can take control over it by deepening your breath, by making it longer, and by relaxing into it. And with that comes such a big sense of inner power, of control, of self-confidence, of accomplishment even. So this is a simple technique that you can play with, you can experiment, and that is applicable in these three different scenarios. So let's say you consider this the session, the first scenario, that is me telling you what to do, and maybe you can even follow it or go back in the video and follow as I explain. Then you take this and you sit for 10 minutes at home and you do the same thing, just playing with your breath, just noticing it, and especially noticing if you can relax it and how it affects the way you feel. And then you do it the exact same thing in real life scenarios. See what you can discover, see the control you can get, and please share it with me. Even send me a private message or an email, or write it down in the comments, and see how it goes for you. See how such a simple thing, the breath, can make such a difference in the way you live your life. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the content. Please like this video if you like it, and see you next time.